All right, so the next video is talking about hyperbolas whose center is not the origin. So for example, here, this hyperbola, the center is going to be at 1 and 1. So now the center of the hyperbola is 1 and 1. Now, because the x comes first, it is a horizontal hyperbola, meaning the major axis is horizontal. So we go a squared equals 16, a equals 4. So that means to get the vertices, you go 4 to the left and 4 to the right. So it's at -3, 1, and 5, 1. And then the b term here, b squared is 9, b is equal to 3. C squared is going to be equal to 16 plus 9. So c squared is 25. So c is 5. So that means the foci are 5 units to the left from the center. So right here, and 5 units from the right there. So those are the foci. So it would be -4, 1, and 6, 1. Those are the foci. The asymptotes, now remember the equations for the asymptotes, you have to use the center, so 1, 1, and then the slope, remember if it's horizontal, it's going to be -b over a and +b over a. So it's going to be, in this case, remember the b is 3 and the a is 4, so it's -3/4 and +3/4. So you write your equation of the line, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. In this case, m is 3/4. So then you just distribute, and then you add the 1. So y equals 3/4 x plus 1/4. So that's one equation of a line. For the other one, you do the same thing, except now the slope is -3/4. And then you add 1. So you get y equals -3/4 x plus 1 3/4. All right, so now remember when we draw this, from the center, we went 4 this way, but our b is 3, so we can go up 3, and we can go down 3, and then you can draw your box. And then we can draw our asymptote through the center and the corner of the box. All right. And then you draw your parabola. And then your domain, remember, because it's horizontal, so domain is -infinity to the first vertice, which is -3, and then it's from 5 to infinity. The range is all real numbers. So our next one, notice the center here is -2, 4, and this would be over 1. And remember, this is going to be vertical. So -2, 4 is here. And then you're going to go up 1 and down 1. Because remember, this is your a squared is 1, 1, b squared is 16, so b is 4. C squared is going to equal 1 plus 16. So c is going to be the square root of 17. So your vertices, when you go up 1 and down 1, it's -2, 5, -2, 3. The foci are -2 and 4 minus rad 17, and -2 and 4 plus rad 17. And remember, rad 17 is a little bit more than 4. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4 up, 1, 2, 3, 4 down. So those are our foci. The asymptotes, remember, we use the center, which is -2, 4, and then we use the slope, and the y is 1, so the slope would be 1/4 and -1/4. So we write our equation of a line. So then we distribute. 1/4 times 2 is 1/2. And then we add 4 plus 4 and 1/2. X plus 4 and 1/2. And then for the negative version, we go y minus 4 equals -1/4 x plus 2. So y minus 4 equals -1/4 x minus 1/2, and then you add 4. So it's plus 3.5. So those are your equations, but then remember to draw the box. So starting from the center, you're going to go out 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to draw your box. And then you would draw your asymptotes through the box, the corner of the box and the center. So you start at the vertice here and go wide towards the asymptotes. Start at the vertice here and go wide like that. So now your domain, remember, is all real numbers because it's vertical. Your range from -infinity to the first vertice, which is 3, and it's from 5 to infinity. All right, the next one, get this back. Gotta go one more. All right, so the next one, you have to complete the square first. So since the y squared is positive, we're gonna make that in front. So it's 16y squared minus 25x squared plus 50x. And then we're gonna move the number over, so it's 425. And then with completing the square, now we're not going to divide by the terms, but we're going to factor out, well, the y squared is going to stay because there's no y term, but we'll take out a -25, so it becomes x squared minus 2x, and then we'll complete the square. Well, -2 divided by 2 is -1, squared is 1, so we add 1 here, but really we're multiplying it by -25, so we subtract 25 here. So we get 16y squared minus 25 times x minus 1 squared, because that's what you squared to get 1, equals 400. When you divide by 400 to make it equal 1, you get y squared over 25 minus x minus 1 squared over 16 equals 1. So there's your equation. And you know it's vertical because y comes first. The center is at 1, 0, because 1, 0. Your a is 5, your b is 4, your c squared is going to be 41, so c is equal to rad 41. So your vertices, because you're going to go start at 1, 0. Whoop, 1, 0. So it's right here. And you're going to go up 5 and down 5. So 1, 5. And negative 5 there. Your foci, you're going to add, so it's 1 square root of 41 and 1 negative square root of 41. And square root of 41 is like 6.5. So those are your foci. The asymptotes, remember you start with the center. The center is 1, 0. And then the slope is going to be what's underneath the y over the x. So it's 5/4 and negative 5/4. So you go y minus 0 equals 5/4 x minus 1. So y equals 5/4 x minus 5/4. And y minus 0 equals negative 5/4 x minus 1. So y equals negative 5/4 x plus 5/4. So those are your two equations. Oh, that's a minus. All right, so then we're going to draw the box, doing the b is 4. So then we draw the box. And then draw your asymptotes through the box and the center. And then we'll do our little parabolas. And remember, the domain here is all real numbers. And the range is going to be from negative infinity to the first vertice, which is negative 5. And the second vertice, 5 to infinity. All right, that concludes hyperbolas. So next we'll talk about solutions on the next video.